I'm Braden Thornton, and this is Weather HQ. Meteorologists have a very important job, and that is to effectively communicate to the public about the weather. Most do a pretty good job when it comes to a simple forecast, such as a 7-day outlook or describing a detailed daily forecast, but I think there is some disconnect in communication, mainly for big storms such as hurricanes and winter storms. In this video, I would like to explore possible ways on how meteorologists can better communicate the message, and so there is less public confusion, therefore better outcomes in terms of trust and maybe even lower fatalities. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. The first way meteorologists can communicate effectively to the public is simplified wording. The difference of a few words can be significant. Using words or phrases such as millibars, mesoscale, and convective, and synoptic scale can very easily lead to confusion. I suggest using a synonym of these words or briefly explain what the word means. For example, say millibars, or the value of atmospheric pressure is blank. And here are the three substitutes for these words as follows. So we have mesoscale to small scale, since meso means small, so we can call it small scale. Convective to thunderstorm, since it's basically the same thing. Synoptic scale to large scale, since synoptic means large scale in the weather business. These are just a few examples of how to simplify the wording. Of course, there are many more, but this is a video. But for this video, we will just use the 4 examples I listed. Now let's move on to the second way, and that is explaining the complications. What I mean by this is that the model discrepancies should be more emphasized. I would recommend a confidence meter that you can include with every big storm and with the rankings of low, medium, and high to let the public know that the information being presented may need to be taken with a grain of salt. Also go beyond the models and explain that it's a blocking pattern or other limiting factors. The third way that I recommend for better communication with the public is to make forecast discussions more available to the public and make them more understandable to the public. The National Weather Service already has forecast discussions that can be accessed by searching forecast discussions for and insert your forecast area. Here, for example, IWX is for Northern Indiana, or you can simply just say Northern Indiana. These are updated twice a day, every day, and are available to the public for free. The issue is that these are not very well advertised and are written for expert meteorologists with vocabulary that only they will understand. I feel that they need to make a more public-friendly version with simpler words that everyone can understand. Sure, there are definitions for the words highlighted in blue, as you can see on the screen, but it should be a smooth experience without the need to look up a word every few sentences. These forecast discussions give an insight to what exactly is making the forecast a nightmare and why you should take things with a grain of salt until the forecast confidence is high. The fourth and final way is to modernize the ways that forecasts are presented and made available. Weather forecasting has come a long way, and we now have made it as far as weather apps. Nowadays, many are turning away from cable TV and are subscribing to subscription services for their favorite shows. Many social media platforms have adopted a TikTok style of videos that are vertical and quick videos that you simply scroll through. If a weather network does not currently have streaming service, and most don't, then it's time to hop on board. The Weather Channel recently announced it will have a streaming service of its own coming later in 2021. The Weather Channel has a TikTok right now that they utilize for weather forecasting as well as other weather-related topics such as climate change. It's a step closer to modernizing their methods of communicating a forecast to the public. What I would recommend is that these companies make their own TikTok-style app, but with the weather. People's attention spans are shorter on average these days, so if you deliver quick, detailed content, they may listen more. All in all, weather communication with the public isn't all that difficult per se, but I definitely think it needs to be improved. I mean, how do we have so many people dying from hurricanes when there's ample communication, ample days out to prepare? It might be a simple fact that people just do not listen per se, but it also might be miscommunication as well, because nowadays it seems like the internet is just all full of miscommunication. I also think that some people just downplay hurricanes in general. They're like, oh, I survived Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Charlie, or Hurricane whatever the case may be. No, you more than likely survived the tropical storm part, which only had 30-40 mile per hour winds. you didn't survive the part that had over 150 mile per hour winds, like the ones in the direct path of these storms have as well. Same goes for winter storms. People think, oh, it's only a couple inches of snow, I'll be fine. But interestingly enough, the most accidents happen when there's only a trace to 2 inches of snow on the ground, as shown by this study done in Wisconsin on your screen. But yeah, the best thing you can do in a snowstorm is just stay home if you can. But if you do have to travel, go slow. And honestly, after a certain point, I would not recommend traveling at all. If you're forecasted to get 5 to 8 inches of snow, or I guess 6 to 10 inches of snow, then I would recommend changing your plans. That's a little difficult to do because many of us work, and it's not that simple to just take off whenever you feel like it. But at the same time, you should also put your life before you put your job as well. So that's just one last thing there before I end the video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And I will see you all in the next one. This has been Weather HQ, signing off.